Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Celtic Way. It is Hibernian 0, Celtic 2 reaction. The headline is Kuhn lights up Easter Road as Cal McGregor unleashes a howitzer goal of the season contender already 2 weeks in.
Stop the competition.
Anything Cherny can do, McGregor can do better for sure. My name is Ryan McGinley, always delighted to be joined by Tony Haggerty. We don't have our handles here at the bottom, but yeah, we come on about an hour and a half, 2 hours after the game. 2-0 Celtic, another clean sheet, another 3 points. Celtic go clear at the top of the table, 6 points. 6 points out of 6, and a good goal difference as well, plus 6. Good day's work. Good first half, maybe not so great second half. The levels went down ever so slightly, but they got the win at the end of the day, and that was the main thing, Tony.
You felt that the game was over as a contest when McGregor hit that wonderful strike. Steve Clark and John Carver were in the stands, funnily enough, watched them, Ryan. Probably a collective cry of despair. But Celtic were pretty excellent in the first half, weren't they? Scored with their first real attack of the game. Kuhn, 3 goal contributions so far, 2 goals and an assist. They were rampant and dominant in the first half. Fell off it in the second half. Obviously, and didn't add to their tally, but I think the job was done in the opening 20 minutes burst, wasn't it? And I think they kind of relaxed and they breathed more easily after that.
Yeah, absolutely. 2-0, and it probably could and should have been more. Celtic hit the woodwork and the post. Hibs also hit the woodwork in the second half as well, but it was mainly one-way sailing in the game as a whole. The first goal started with a good move in the middle of the park. Kyogo shoots from just outside the box. It's parried by the goalkeeper. Forrest is quick to get onto it when it goes to the goalkeeper's right, the left-hand side from where we were sitting. Forrest puts a lovely ball, just easy ball into Kuhn's area and where he was in the vicinity of the pitch, and it was the easiest goal he'll probably ever score in his career. But, and I know what you're going to say here because we've talked about it off air, he matches the run, doesn't he? He matches the run and he chases the shot and he gets into a position where he can get a goal, and he gets his just rewards for that.
He's involved twice. It's his ball to Kyogo, and he doesn't stand in ceremony thinking, what a lovely pass. He's up with the play at all times, and Kyogo should have played him in because he was in the clear, and he didn't take the nip or the spur or the huff and think, okay, well, you're going it alone. He follows the play, and then he does what all good strikers or good wingers do. The manager spoke about that after it, and he said that coming in at the back post, you've got to get assists, you've got to get goals. That's how you get them, Ryan. And just wonderful play from the minute he's released that pass, Ryan. He's not standing admiring the pass. He's thinking, when am I going to get involved in the next passage of play? And arguably should have been played in by Kyogo, but Kyogo's a striker, and it's what they do. As soon as they get a set goal, they want to have it themselves. Forrest is the quickest to react, but Kuhn's even quicker. Simple goal, but a well-worked goal.
Simple goals, it doesn't matter if they're simple goals or the next goal that we'll talk about, which was an absolute screamer from Cal McGregor, but they still all count at the end of the day. Whether you score them from 25 yards out or 2 or 3 yards out, they still count for the same in a game of football. And with 4 minutes on the clock, an expectant Hibs crowd that wanted something from this game, they obviously get beat heavily in their last game against St Mirren. They were coming to Easter Road, their first home game of the season, and Celtic controlled the narrative from the early stages of the game, made that first step, first chance they had at goal, or second because it was Kyogo's shot, and then the second chance that they had, they weren't squandering that, and they instantly got that 1-goal lead. And from then, they really did set the tempo and the narrative of the game. It was great to see, and I thought some of the football played in that that 15-minute period between the first and second goal, and then up until half time, I thought some of the football was absolutely splendid. I don't know about you.
Second goal's just we've used howitzer in the headline, but it's what you would call, yes, indeed, thank you for that, Celt 88, Ryan's well chuffed at that. It's what you would call in Glasgow parlance a Brahma. It's an absolute, in another Glasgow phrase, a dullion. He just connects with it so sweet, doesn't he? And
only one of us seen this goal live, unfortunately, because Tony was the workman. The workman that he is was probably writing a nice point about Nicholas Kuhn, that Kyogo decided to steal his fire. Not Kyogo, Cal McGregor rather. Kyogo wishes he stole his fire. Had loads of chances today. Probably talk about that as well. But
to the strange of there's something happening here. As I buried my head in my laptop to look up to see Callum McGregor running away, and you turned to me and said, "That's a goal of the season contender." and I instantly thought you were kidding.
No.
And it's only when I caught it up on Sky Sports Scotland, it's on the Twitter pictures. I was like, oh, I can't believe I missed that live. But there you go. That's the trials and tribulations of being a journalist and being hard at it. Burying your head in your laptop at inopportune moments. But it doesn't really matter how many times you see it. It's a cracker. If there's going to be a better goal scored in Scottish domestic football this season, then you're going to have to top. You're going to have to be a real screamer to beat that and go some, because he just connects. There's an angle that shows you behind the goal, and it's just a sensational hit. You realise no goalkeeper saving that, right?
It's the once it left, and I'm looking forward to doing the stats bomb report tomorrow, because I'm guessing that it skyrockets because it's a low chance. It's 25 yards out. It'll probably be quite low in XG expected goals, but it will rise with the way that he hits it so true, so cleanly. And the moment he hit it, I knew it was in. It was one of those goals that when you see it, when you see the technique, it's great play by Kuhn to find McGregor as well. Deservedly man of the match in the contest. I thought he was sublime in the first half, especially. Good moments. Yeah, absolutely. But as soon as that ball was hit from Callum McGregor, you knew where it was going. And unfortunately, or fortunately for Celtic's fortunes, or fortunately for Celtic's fortunes, that's a great that great quote to use. Fortunately for Celtic, unfortunately for Hibs and their goalkeeper more specifically, they knew that was going in the back of the net. And I think the goalkeeper diving for it was just for show, because there was no way two goalkeepers were getting to that, never mind one.
No. Excuse the background noise, guys. There's all sorts of people tidying away TV wires and stuff like that, so apologies for that if you're hearing all sorts of shouting. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those sweet strikes, isn't it? It's a goal for the ages from Callum, and you can argue that he's never really hit a ball sweeter, because it is some ping, I've got to be honest.
Mitchell in the way would like to have a word, Tony.
Yeah, possibly. Okay, fine. But they didn't win that, did they?
No, unfortunately, which is I guess just by default that probably beats it. It's unfortunate too, because that's an absolute. I watched it the other day, and you forget how good a goal that was, because Celtic ultimately got put out in that tie. But yeah, unfortunate, but they got the win today, and that effectively did seal the contest, even though there was to and fro in the second half. But if there's any goal that's going to win a game or consolidate a victory, then you'll struggle to find much better than that from Callum McGregor. International retirement, still get plenty of energy in those legs, and plenty of strength as well.
Oh, without a doubt, completely. And Rodgers was cheekily asked the question, did he feel sorry for Steve Clarke? Didn't he? And his reaction kind of said, he was kind of smiling, but he knows, and we spoke about it at the beginning, the pre-match show, and we said that it's a win-win for Celtic with Callum getting, due rest and stuff during the international break. But what we have to touch upon, Ryan, is twice in the second half, and then when Mikey Johnson came on, Celtic need another striker. Every Celtic supporter was having heart palpitations when they saw Kyogo go down. The manager admitted that they had to, Kyogo had to pop his shoulder back in. It is troublesome. And then when Mikey Johnson's going up front and then he gets a concussion, if that's the biggest message to the board, to say we need a striker of repute in, and if it's Adam Ida, then I want that done this week, Ryan. I want it done tomorrow. Yeah. I've got to be honest.
I did it done yesterday, to be perfectly honest. It's one of those ones that's dragging on a bit too long now, and Celtic cannot afford. Now, they won the game today. The job was done by the time Kyogo was on the ground, but unfortunately with his shoulder, because he's not had that operation, which was getting spoke about last season by Brendan Rodgers. I don't know what's happened. Maybe, lost in translation or something, but it's something that still needs done. It's a ticking time bomb for Celtic up front, and it's always there. It's waiting to strike. Unfortunately, he's got weakness in that area. The surprise for me is that more teams don't test it, unfortunately, and I'm glad that more teams don't test it, because that's unsportsmanlike. But it's a problem, and it's a problem that will continue to persist until he gets it sorted.
And I don't want to bring a downer on proceedings, but I think it's now becoming a pressing necessity for Celtic that they need a striker. Last week he was clattered by Robbie McCrory. People were wondering if he was going to make this week, and then this weekend he's gone down twice, and you've ended up playing Mikey Johnson up front, which is in itself tells you all you need to know.
He shouldn't be in that position.
Correct. Celtic should not be in that position. Not when they are talking about, significant investments or significant financial in the club coffers. So I just, this is a situation that should have been sorted yesterday. It has to get sorted tomorrow. If Celtic do not go out and bring Adam Idah to Celtic tomorrow or at some point this week, then they are being negligent in their duty, Ryan. I have to, and it's a dereliction of duty, to be honest. I have to say that, because they can't have the supporters feeling the way they did at the tail end of that game, regardless if the points were in the bag. It's and as much as I enjoyed Celtic's first half performance, tapered off a wee bit in the second half, but you're left thinking, come on, Celtic, it's time to conclude this piece of business and get Adam Idah. If it is Adam Idah, we're led to believe that it is Adam Idah. Just get him signed for peace of mind more than anything else moving forward.
Yeah, I've got to say, I hope that Adam Idah's making his second debut for Celtic next weekend against Hibs, either that or some other striker, although there doesn't seem to be any other names. It's at this point, I would want Celtic to be looking for other strikers. I would want another striker to be in by now, whether that be Adam Idah or somebody else, but they've put all their eggs in this one basket, and they need to... Yeah. Adam Idah's got to be this week. Yes. It had to be this. It had to be earlier on. It would preferably be earlier on in the window, but it has to be this week. Now, time is of the essence here. Celtic cannot continue to dice with danger with this, and with Kyogo and his shoulder. Now, that can happen at any point, but at this present, you've got to have somebody to come on off the bench in Adam Idah, or the other way about. If Kyogo's on the bench, then he can replace Adam Idah, but you don't have that dynamic at this moment in time. You've only got the one striker to go with. Daizen Maeda was playing up front in pre-season games last season, and then Brendan Rodgers decided, I think he found out like the rest of us, that he's better off on the left wing for his pressing abilities, and because he gives something different on that left wing. And in fact, Celtic's left wing options out with Maeda, and to an extent Lewis Palmer, they're not that great, to be honest, so he's better off playing there. So Celtic at the moment, they only have one striker, and it's something that they desperately need to address this week, not this month. Well, obviously this month, but this week.
I need to address it and rectify it, Ryan. Nothing short of this, the new striker coming in this week will do. I'd say preferably tomorrow. If it's Adam Idah, go and do that piece of business, because it's dragged on far too long. So, and as I say, I don't want to bring a downer on proceedings, but I think that's a lot of people's takeaway from today, amongst other things. They enjoyed the first half. The football they played at times was scintillating, really enjoyed it. They've came out, sprang out the traps in the first opening 2 games of the season very well. 4-0 against Kilmarnock, 2-0 against Hibs. Probably should have been more. Callum McGregor hit the post early second half. If that goes in, I think, it becomes a different game. Celtic do relax and they go. And then Hibernian had a chance near the end where they hit the bar. And I think Kasper Schmeichel would have had a word with both Cameron Carter-Vickers and Liam Scales for their parts in that had the boy scored, but thankfully he didn't. And obviously need to stress to Kasper Schmeichel there will be tougher tests as well, but 2 games, 2 clean sheets.
He will have to make saves in Scotland at some point, but for the moment he's
I'm quite happy he's not.
He's kind of like another, and this is not to downplay any of the teams that Celtic are facing, Kilmarnock and Hibs respectively, but Kasper Schmeichel's getting judged on his distribution at the moment because he's not had the save to make of note. Yeah, he's had a couple that went straight at him, but they're not safe. All of the saves that he's had to make have been tame ones that if he lets in, you'd be wanting to release him from his contract the next day because it'd be that bad. But he's just on Kasper Schmeichel. You've seen it at full time when he was giving it to the fans, enjoying it. I think he's just getting into it. He's like, this has been my mate Joe Hart's slot. I'm going to need to get used to this. And maybe after that first derby victory, after a victory against Hearts at home, getting further in the cup, semi-finals, etc., he might get more into it. But it's good to see that good character from the goalkeeper. And by all accounts, he's settling in well to life at Celtic.
Yeah, without a doubt. And it's good to see that. But I think, the fact that he wasn't very busy will have pleased the manager, but I think what wouldn't have pleased the manager is the way they kind of took the foot off the pedal in the second half. They had a good opening 10 minutes the second half, and then it kind of went a bit stale, didn't it? And and if you watch the YouTube video, you can judge for yourself if the manager was a bit... I think he was pleased enough with the job been done in the first half, but he wants more. He certainly wants more. He wants a more all-round performance and a performance for over the whole of the 90 minutes. So I think that's, if he's nitpicking, he wouldn't have a go to players because why can't
he said that actually specifically, yeah.
But I think he wants a wee bit more, and he felt that they could have scored and should have scored more goals today. Kyogo's missed a couple of chances as well. There's been others. Kuhn, there was one in particular that you and I said he was far too casual, tried to side foot at home, didn't he? And
it was like what Matt O'Reilly was doing under Ange Postecoglou in his second season. That's the example that springs to mind. He's trying to score the perfect goal, the casual goal. You want him to really
laces through it and
I want to see from me. I want to see the confidence from Nicholas Kuhn, because there's a player there. Everyone can see that. There was an intake of breath. You know, we're sitting near the Hibs supporters in the press box. There's an intake of breath whenever Kuhn was getting on the ball, because they instantly recognised the danger that he was posing to their defence. The guy that was, his name escapes me, but the guy that was marking him was having a torrid time against him. If there was somebody marking him, let's be honest, because he was having a whale of a time, Nicholas Kuhn, against these.
But yeah, so I think in terms of nitpicking, that's the kind of nitpick that you would do, that it could have and should have been more goals, but there's no damage done, Ryan. It's another clean sheet. You know, the confidence is building. You know, the players are, certainly in the first half, the players certainly knew what they were doing and went about their business. And basically, when Callum McGregor scores, it's finished as a contest. I say to you, okay, and you said to me, I said, how many are we going to win by? And you said, can I change my scoreline prediction? Didn't you? That's how confident you felt that they were going to be rampant and go on and score 3, 4, 5 possibly. But it turned out that it was just a 2, but 2 was good enough, which is fine. I don't mind that. It's early in the season and things are starting to click into gear, but when it does click into gear, you know, and they do that fast football, free-flowing football, it is a joy to watch, and they can penetrate and hurt teams.
That was miles better than the performance that we've seen at Easter Road a few months back. Take that performance and put it up. Didn't score from open play. 2 of their goals, both goals were from penalties. I guess the other goal was from Levitt for Hibs, who actually had a couple of alright touches in the second half today. I noticed that, but scoring goals, to have the game effectively finished as a contest within 19 minutes. Just remember, Celtic clinched that win when it was nearing stoppage time. I think it was the 88th, 89th minute for Adamira's second penalty in the game. But to have it done like that, even though they dropped off, the drop off in performance, it wasn't stark or anything. It's just they weren't playing to the same level that they were. The wow factor of the first half wasn't there. They were still in control for large parts of the game.
I mean, I didn't feel that Hibs were going to score, or there was any danger of them ever getting back into the game. The one off the crossbar was the only one that was, you know, that troubled Schmeichel. So as I say, they were in full control from start to finish, and you know, another 3 points on the board. We're being gesticulated at.
Yes, that's
to leave the stadium.
Yes, that's what we're going to say. It was going to be a shorter one anyway for a couple of reasons, because the stadium's shutting and the last train is at 6:10, so we need to go and get Tony's car, as was discussed in the pre-match briefing. Thank you to everybody for joining us. I know it's a bit of a shorter one. We usually go a bit longer. Try and go a bit longer next week at Celtic Park from my car. But yeah, we'll try and be a bit longer next. Yeah, we'll be on tomorrow to discuss even more about the game. Please check out the website and subscribe to the website. We've got a special offer running at around about midnight tonight, so have a wee look at that when it drops on the site if you haven't subscribed already. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We've got the post-match in full from Brendan Rodgers, as well as this video pre-match if you want to go back and watch that. And the website, there's instant analysis and player ratings. We have got to head just now, but thank you to everybody for watching, and we will see you all tomorrow. Is there anything you want to say before we finish off?
2 down, Ryan, 36 to go. Yeah.
And now we move on to Premier Sports Cup action next Sunday. Celtic remain top of the league. I think. Judging, yes, top of the league. And fingers crossed that's where they stay for a good time to come. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. Sorry for the short show, and we'll be back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Thanks, guys.